Authenticity went out the door in the first 5 minutes.
Ella goes to the movie.
First, I want to preface this by saying that I truly count myself lucky to be alive at a time where Adam Driver exists and is making movies. There will be no Adam Driver slander in this review. So, just prefacing by saying that. A lot of what was being said was that the Italian accents were terrible. Is it weird that they're all supposed to be Italian living in Italy and yet they're all speaking English to each other and we're just completely supposed to suspend that from our head? If they wanted to tell this story as authentically as possible, they would have all be speaking Italian and then just given us subtitles. The authenticity is lost a little bit automatically because you're like, yeah, but you're in Italy. And they shot in Italy. And I understand that they can't all learn Italian for this, but they could have learned, like Lady Gaga talked about how she like lived with this character for 3 years. You could learn Italian in those 3 years. You could learn the script at least, maybe not be fluent in Italian, but you could have learned the script. Anyway, that's the first thing that you have to dismiss in order to like delve into this movie. Then you have to suspend the fact that some of them are wearing ridiculous like prosthetics and things like that. Well, actually just Jared Leto is. That's a whole other thing. But mostly what I want to say about this movie is that we get the absolute blessing of seeing Adam Driver in various states of handsomeness. Like, you start off the movie, he's got these wavy locks and it's the 70s. He's got these glasses, he's got the wavy hair, he's super tall. I mean, he always is, but you can really tell because Lady Gaga is only 5'2". So whenever they're in a scene together, you can really tell how tall he is. You get the fashion, like you get Italy, all good things. I don't think that from minute 1 to about minute probably 60 or 90, I think it's great. Then you get into what should be the darkness and the twist, the murder mystery, and so you're expecting this one thing and it never quite gets dark enough for what you think you're getting, because if you know the story even remotely, you know that she does have her husband killed. In my opinion, it did need to go one way or the other. Make it super creepy, make it over the top, do that, or have it be this intimate like story between these two, but it kind of tries to do both. And then there's the comic relief that comes from Jared Leto, and I don't think that really was necessary. I don't think the story ever meant to stay true to the facts. I think it's literally they set out to make something that was their own retelling of it. Authenticity went out the door in the first 5 minutes. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And not only that, then later, Adam Driver cuts his hair and he has this like sleek look, and then he is older and then he starts dressing really well and you get to see all of that. And I'm gonna stare at a screen for 2 hours and I think almost like 50 minutes. I really think it was almost 3 hours long. I'm gonna stare at a screen for 3 hours and Adam Driver is looking like that, I'm not gonna complain. Was it everything that it could have been? Absolutely not. I don't think that it met I don't think it hit the mark. I think the mark was over here and it didn't even come close. Like maybe it was like down here, but I still don't think it was a bad movie, and I still don't think that it deserved all the hate that it was getting online. I think it was visually beautiful. The soundtrack had bops. I think it was overall, give it a solid 7.5. It definitely is worth a watch in general. Maybe wait for it to come to streaming, even though I don't say that very often. I think every movie should be seen in the movie theater because that's how it was intended to be watched. Unless it's like a made-for-TV movie, obviously. But anyway, that's besides the point. I think it's worth a watch. If you enjoy Adam Driver, you will enjoy this movie. He literally just is so good. He's so good. And if he gets nominated for an Oscar, I wouldn't be surprised because I think he does such a good job. You really do completely forget that he's speaking English with an Italian accent. Like I'm like, oh yeah, this checks out. Like he makes you believe that. Some of the other characters, you're a little bit like, wait, you just sounded American for a second. But with him, you're like, oh, I believe you fully, and like, yeah, this makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, overall 7.5 out of 10, and better than I expected.